Yet another fighter you could have saved.
What makes a villain a villain? Is it their perilous journey on how they want to commit some of the biggest evils known to mankind? Is it the fact that most of them look like the world's biggest sicko and want to do bad to people for no good reason? Could it be because some of them end up being petty as hell and just do a bunch of stupid things for the sake of it? Or maybe, just maybe, they don't want to pay full price for digital games. PlayStation, you're trash! Time and time again, we've all seen different kinds of villains across shows, movies, and games altogether. And after I spent some time learning, reading, writing, I can't read, I realized that stereotypically, most villains fall into one of these three categories on why they do what they do. Number one being they have some of the most justifiable motivations and reasons to do any evil shit, which leads to them committing world-ending amounts of destruction, but for a very understandable cause. Number two is that they're just a certified hater, which makes them the best man. Or number three, they're just arrogant as hell, pay your shit, childish, dumb morons who only use a whopping 0% of their brain because they're stupid. And that's what I'm gonna go over today, man. Today, my beautiful people, I wanted to dedicate this video and speak about some of the most arrogant villains I've ever come across that got game over because their egos were too high. And as much as I like some of the characters I'm about to mention, they low-key became dumb as shit. And without any more yapping, Dragon Ball villains are the first to go. Now look, as much as I love Dragon Ball more than the next person, and even glazed Goku, like my life depends on it, to my full-on knowledge about this show, there's only like 1 or 2 villains in the whole thing who have dedicated plans and motives to do some crazy planet-destroying shit. Besides that, the rest of these guys just want to run the fate and call it a day. They're sick! The majority of all Dragon Ball villains are so simple that their baseline goal most of the time is to just prove they're a better fighter, that they're more superior, stronger than what they think of themselves, and better than any of the Z fighters. And most of the time, that's specifically Goku. And if they don't get that opportunity to show their strength, they're just gonna blow up Earth for the sake of it. They're hella petty. Every other saga in Dragon Ball has this type of villain. Even the ones who may look like they have a better motive than the rest of them, like wanting to take over the universe or something, still end up becoming hella arrogant as soon as they get punched up a little bit, and desperately want to run the fate of Kakarot. They're hungry for that shit. Look at Frieza. The guy at first established himself as a conqueror, somebody who takes and controls people to do his bidding for him, with the man having absolute control and authority over hundreds of planets like planet Vegeta, only for him to eventually blow up the planet and eradicate all the Saiyans. Mad! The guy had a good chunk of the universe under his control with his Frieza Force and his armies, and was gonna use the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. And then later on he tried to use them again to grow taller. You're short, man, embrace it! On Namek, when he first stepped out his little pod, the guy was on demon timing. Killed a bunch of Namekians, was messing up Krillin and the rest of the Mandem, punched off Vegeta and made him cry, and even held himself down against Goku after he was done healing and survived a whole spirit bomb, and was straight up tanking Goku's strongest moves. As much as I don't like Frieza for calling everyone a monkey every 2 seconds, I can't deny he had that shit on lock for real. He was putting in this work, man. But then this flipping guy just had to go kill Krillin. He just had to. How greedy. Because after this very life-changing moment happened, I think we all know where this went. Frieza was on a day pass, gym pass, straight lifetime membership to getting whooped. He got finessed it. Frieza was so arrogant up until this point. Barely used a fraction of his power against anybody and thought nobody could compare to him. But Super Saiyan Goku flipped the whole script and said forget all that shit, because he went straight to humbling him like crazy, beating this man senseless, bitch slapping him, dissing and throwing hundreds of insults at him like he was taking the man for a joke. I'm bored. You're boring me. Frieza, the same guy who thought he was better than Saiyans, was so paranoid of the idea of a Super Saiyan that at the time, he destroyed a whole planet because of a myth. Then the minute he went against one for the first time, he became a bum. He was shook. And even after doing all the crazy things he did, Goku still let the guy off and was even willing to give his own energy for him to survive. After this idiot cut himself in half. Now he looks like Geodude from Pokemon. He's ugly. But no, Frieza was so petty and blinded by his own stupidity and arrogance that he tried to shoot him, but then just got obliterated by Goku instead. Finished. And you think Frieza is the only one who thought like this? Cell practically pulled the exact same shit he did. He's no different. Cell hosted a whole tournament to show to everyone that he could run a fade with people. Literally brick by brick, crafting a whole arena in the middle of nowhere to just fight to prove his superiority. Only fought him a couple of episodes later to get whooped by an 11-year-old. Embarrassing. My Gohan got it like that. But imagine being a perfect being with the DNA of the world's best fighters, having things like Goku's moveset and Piccolo's regeneration, being capable of doing crazy shit like finessing whole towns in your first form, and even eventually being able to literally destroy meteors. For warm-up practice, Cell literally blew up a meteor that probably would have blown up Earth. This guy saved the planet just to threaten it later. He's a sicko. And even after exploding on King Kai's planet and coming back for a second time, thinking that just because now he's gotten stronger and can now even use instant transmission, that he can even equal up to Gohan's stupid levels of power? Was a lie. He came back just to get folded again and go vaporized by the kid. This nigga was bluffing the whole conversation they had when he came back, talking and chatting shit to him as if he wasn't getting walked down like a second ago. Yo, Sasuke wasn't the first person to walk down on somebody, bro. It was Gohan back in the 90s, slow walking on Cell like one demon. He had the guy so shook, he almost fell off a cliff. He was that scared of him. He got matched up in their fight, and it wasn't even close. This guy got gut punched so hard, he spat out Android 18. Ugh, he vomited. As much as I like Cell, like he's definitely in my top 3 in Dragon Ball villains, from his one-liners, design, power set, and his theme, that shit is low-key above, man. It still doesn't change the fact that he got thumped out and only lasted in scraps as long as he fought anybody beside Gohan. He was getting his shit rocked when it came down to him. You should have just taken your super perfect form and kept it moving. The minute Gohan transformed for the second time and you got a second chance, you should have known shit was gonna go sideways, man. You ain't got it like that. Even Buu had his fair share of moments of being arrogant too in Dragon Ball Z. Even though he felt like more of a force of chaos compared to the other two, this guy was so hungry to box. He followed Piccolo on the longest route to the time chamber on Kami's lookout. Like how certain guys take the long route home after getting a trim. No one can see you, bro. Buu just followed him like a sheep. And he even murdered every single soul on planet Earth after the bold green man himself convinced him there's other fighters. You pagan! And then later on, when Buu could finally run their hands with people like Ultimate Gohan and Vegito, these guys were beating the ever-living shit out of him, taking his life. Gohan gut punched literal steam out of him. Gohan loves gut punching people, bro. What is this? Buu literally would have lost if it wasn't for Gohan getting distracted, which led to him getting absorbed, and Vegito letting himself go through that to free everyone who got absorbed by Buu in the first place, which let out this little monkey. I could keep going on and on about Dragon Ball villains being mad arrogant. They all are. The only people who come to mind that could back their shit talk and throw hands are guys like Broly and Beerus. Goku lost against Beerus, and Broly only lost because he had to fight Goku and Vegeta solo. Then he had to fight Gogeta. So in short, they just jumped him. That's weak. And speaking of arrogance anyway, Light Yagami is the true pinnacle of this shit. Cause I'm telling you lot right now, this guy's ego was mad high. He needed to be humbled. From the minute he found the Death Note, testing it out on a guy to see if it actually works, finding out it does work, and then no less than like 10 minutes later, abusing his power non-stop to fuel his own ego and god complex was mental. Light literally thought he was untouchable and the only person who could save the world from its evils. And as smart as he came across in Death Note, he's also the same idiot who killed someone on live TV by getting rage baited. You're stupid! The whole rivalry between him and L just proved Light was the more arrogant and impatient one between the two. This isn't to say that L wasn't like that either. He even admitted that both his and Kira's rivalry stemmed from both of them being childish. But fam, this guy Light was itching to kill this man so bad, he would do some of the dumbest shit just to even come close to that result. He was desperate. Even though Light was smart, calculated, and intelligent, with making certain cold-ass moves and plays to keep L and the task force in the dark about his true identity, he would still slip up with doing things that ultimately led L to believe that he was Kira. With the first one being him killing Lin L. Taylor on live TV in front of everybody. That was dumb as shit. All this guy had to do was sit down, watch TV, and eat potato chips. Basically be the average level guy after they come home from a shit day at work. But this man literally got called evil one time and wasted no time to straight away write the guy's name in the Death Note, which just shamed him completely. Cause not only did it help the real L deduce that Kira had some next up witchcraft level powers to kill people, but also helped him figure out the specific region where the killer would be from. Now he doesn't have to play Where's Wally anymore to find the murderer. You dumbass! And half of why Light even did any more dumb shit throughout the whole of Death Note was because of his own ego and arrogance. Even though I understand why he wouldn't take it, I still think him not taking the Shinigami eyes was dumb. This shit could have been the game changer he needed to take out L as inconspicuously and as quick as he could, with how much L was learning and gaining on Kira, eventually deducing that he was using a police database and was a student to whatever else he found out up until Ryuk first told Light about the Shinigami eyes. By then, that should have been the wake-up call he needed to just take the deal and mark the guy. Quick thing! And even though L may have suspected him at this moment in time, the most important thing here you might need to understand is that Light would still have his name, his government, his driving license, first name and last name. So hypothetically, he could in future try and dedicate his energy and time to convince L that if he still suspects him by then, he would try his hardest to make it seem like he wasn't Kira. So that when the coast is finally clear and his name is safe from L, game over him instantly, drop him, man. But the guy was so overconfident and cocky that instead of taking god level powers, he was like, nah, I'ma do my own thing. You're selling! Not to mention, this guy killed people like Ray Pemba for no reason. He just did it for the love of the game. What was the point of taking him out? Generally, what was the point? He didn't even suspect he was Kira, let alone he was about to clear your name, which would have made everything in the future a lot easier. I get that Light's plan here was to use Pemba to get the names of the FBI agents who were investigating into him. It was smart, but he did not have to do this shit straight afterwards, revealing himself to my man before he was about to die. He's petty. He even did the same shit with Naomi, Pemba's wife, in where moments before she was about to die, he just revealed to her that he's Kira. For what, bro? What was the point of this? You're rage baiting. And then when Light finally killed L and got the last laugh in his face, ending their rivalry forever, this guy became straight up stupid. Now that there was no competition, he lowered his standards and put too much faith in people like Mikami and Takeda to do Kira shit. In where Mikami was the reason how the SBK were even able to get their hands on a Death Note to suss out Light as Kira in the first place. And this guy would even go ahead to speak to Kira's spokesperson to send messages to Mikami while Near was already sussing him out. It's like he wanted to get caught. Trash! This guy believed in his hype way too much. That when he got caught, instead of trying to write the SBK and the Kira Task Force's names down in the piece of the Death Note he had in his watch as discreetly and as slow as he possibly and humanly could, he started trying to write it down like a madman. No wonder Masuda emptied the clip into him. He was crazy. This show-off even told Near, before Mikami wrote their names in the fake Death Note, that he won. This guy didn't give two shits, man. He got outsmarted by somebody who had to build all of their evidence from scratch. If this was the same Light who went against L, I promise you, it wouldn't even go down like this. But even back in the first part, I always thought L was ultimately smarter than Light because he figured out the supernatural. Light literally had an untraceable death device which could kill people without there being any evidence left over, and he still somehow got caught. Whose man's is this, bro? How did he lose? Ultimately, Light let his ego and arrogance get way too ahead of his intellect, and that's why he got slammed out at the end of Death Note. But to be fair, he got what he deserved. He literally tried to play God. He's a sicko. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm jumping straight to the final dipshit that I want to mention for the video. And this guy is one of the biggest egotistical schmucks I've ever seen in TV history. He was chatting so much shit. It was like he was on the toilet. Disgusting! And the final character I want to speak about is Envy from Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here. I hate this guy, man. Envy was a serial level rage baiter. He was violating. Every time he appeared, he would just chat shit, mock people, disrespect them, acting as if he was superior and had a major dislike toward humanity in general. He did not mess with these niggas. I mean, the guy literally instigated a whole war. He killed a kid, man. He's a sicko. His whole character is built off being arrogant. But with all the shit talking, cracking demeaning jokes, and dissing Envy did to everyone in Full Metal, this guy should have said nothing to Mustang, because the minute he did that shit, he got boomed. If you're unfamiliar with what happened, at the start of Full Metal, Envy killed a guy named Colonel Hughes, who more or less at the time before his death, figured out some crazy shit about the homunculi. And the way Envy even did it was some rage baiting shit. He literally shapeshifted into the man's wife and shot him. Demon activities, man, I swear. And the funeral they had for Colonel Hughes was hella sad too. The way his daughter started shouting out for him because she couldn't understand that he was getting buried brought tears to my eyes, man. Look at my boy Mustang. It's a terrible day for Rain, bro. Now fast forward to the final last episodes of Full Metal. When Envy and Mustang meet for the first time, Envy, still rage baiting and trying to instigate beef with everyone there, finally reveals that he's the one who murdered Colonel Hughes. And the minute Mustang heard that statement leave his mouth, he started finessing this man. I'm talking demon level exorcisms, hellfire, torture levels of burning on Envy. All you could hear was snap, snap, snap. Then the sounds of Envy crying out while he was getting burned alive. That shit was crazy. This guy didn't want any smoke the first time either. He got burned once in his big form and went straight to dipping. Mustang was putting fire on the guy like he likes his food burned. It was mad. I low-key felt bad for Envy on how he was just getting eviscerated by Mustang. I've never seen a being like this ever happen in anime again. I don't think a lot tops how Mustang cooked this guy. It was so bad. Riza and Ed had to stop him from going whole sicko mode on Envy. If you don't go somewhere else with that shit, do you know what this man did? Envy was an arrogant little piece of shit toward people. He didn't give a flip on how they would react and he didn't care. I mean, I ultimately felt bad for him because his name was Envy. Even though he thought himself superior and acted as if he was better than people, he was honestly jealous of their humanity, jealous of their ability to create deeper bonds and connections. He envied them. That's why when Ed started taking pity on him, when he became this little ugly thing, he packed himself off. He couldn't handle it. As much as I can have empathy for him, he was still a waste man, and he started lots of crazy shit in the show. So my sympathy for him is fleeting. You suck! And thus, my friends, this brings me to the end of the video. Arrogance is truly ignorance. And honestly, if these guys went up their own asses too much and were more focused on their goals, they would win, bro. They're dumb as shit. If you guys got any more villains who you think are like this or disagree with the ones I mentioned, comment down below, man. I love you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Peace.